Hey guys, I'm really excited to have you here. Today I'm going to talk about how to create and write a CSS selectors in a CSS tree. First of all, I created two files, index.html file and a style.css file. Inside the index.html file, I will create a simple infrastructure for my HTML file. Now I will add my CSS style into my HTML file. For this one, I will create a link tag inside a head tag. Link rel style sheet href. I put my style.css path inside href attribute. Okay. Then I click on preview available button in VS Code status bar. This button is related to this extension, Quick HTML Previewer. You can install this extension to your local machine. What is a selector? In CSS, selectors are used to target the HTML elements on our web pages that we want to style. There are a wide variety of CSS selectors available when selecting element to style. In this video, I will run through the different types in great details. A CSS selector is the first part of a CSS rule. It is a pattern of elements and other terms that tell the browser which HTML elements should be selected to have the CSS property values inside the rule applied to them. In CSS, selectors are defined in a CSS selectors specification. Now I'm going to create some basic HTML tags to test our CSS selectors on it. I create h1. This is CSS selector course. h2 subsections. P. This is my first paragraph. Second paragraph. Now I create a div. Inside a div I create another p tag. This is paragraph. Inside div another div with a specific id equal div1, another div id equal div2. Inside div2 I will create another p paragraph inside div2 with id, another div image tag, source equal assets image. Okay, and br break line. Okay, this is a very simple HTML body that contains some basic HTML tags. We use these HTML to apply them our selectors. The star symbol will target every single element on the page. Many developers use this trick to set margin and padding of all single elements to 0. Padding 0 pixels, margin 0 peaks. As you can see, all elements on the page now have the 0 padding and margin. Prefixing the hashtag to the selector let us to select a specific ID. In our example, we have a div with ID div1. We can select this div using hashtag. I put a width attribute 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, and background color equal to black. You can see I select the specific div and apply our style to this. You should very careful to use hashtag because this approach don't let us to reuse our style for another element. This is a class selector. The difference between IDs and classes is that with the letter you can target multiple elements. Use classes when you want your styling to apply to a group of elements. Alternatively, use IDs to find a specific element on your HTML and apply a specific style to it. In this example, I created a warning style class and I applied this to this paragraph. Also, I can apply this style to another element. For example, I create another P here and I apply a class equal warning dash style. Now I write some style for this class. Color red, font size 18 pixels. My last paragraph. Yeah, as you can see, this class style applied to multiple elements as I want. The next most common selector is the descendant selector. When you need to be more specific with your selectors, you use these. For example, what if rather than targeting all paragraph tags, you only need to target a specific paragraph in the special div? In this situation, we use descendant selector. In this example, I use div as a parent and paragraph as a child. In another word, every paragraph inside div affected based on this style. For example, color blue. As you can see, two elements affected. We go through the HTML file and now we can see this one. Paragraph inside div and another one here, paragraph inside div affected based on our descendant selector. Let's see more example for descendant selector. We can apply descendant selector for dot classes and ID selector too. For example, I will write that header space P. This means all paragraph inside header classes gets this style. Color green, font size 20 pixels, font weight bold. Now I will create this element inside my HTML file. Here I will create div class equal header. Inside this element I will be create p. This is my header. As you can see, these elements gets our style based on descendant selector with classes parent. Another example for descendant selector with hashtag selector. Hashtag footer space p. In this example, we will be apply this style to all paragraph inside footer id. I will be create a div with id equal footer. Inside this div, I add a paragraph, copy, right, add sign 2020, and write some style for it. Color equal pound C4 C4 C4. As you can see, our element gets this style based on descendant selector with hashtag selector as a parent. Type selector. What if you want to target all elements on a page according to their type rather than an ID or class name? Keep it simple and use a type selector. If you want to target all image in the page, use this example. Width 150 pixels, height 150 pixels, border 1 pixel, solid black, border radius 15 pixels. As you can see, I apply this style to all image tag inside my HTML file. If I go through the HTML file and create another image element, this image also get my global image style. As you can see, I defined here. You can apply this approach to all elements in the HTML for P, R, H1 and all HTML tags. Next selector is Attribute Selector. We use Attribute Selector to select a specific element with a specific attribute. For this, we go through the HTML file. Here, I create a break line, then anchor, href equal http google.com. As you can see, the default color is blue. I want to change it. Here I write an element name and append a square bracket to it, and inside a square bracket I will be write target attribute name. In this example, target attribute is title. Now I change the color of title. Color colon red. As you can see, the color of title in anchor elements changed. Another example for select input types. In HTML file, I will be create input type equal text, value equal my first name, another input type number, value equal 100. Okay, I want to apply some styles to this input with a specific attribute type equal to text. In CSS, I will be write an element name, input, add a square bracket to it, and write a target attribute name, type equal the value of target attribute. Here is text. Border 1 pix, solid red, font size 14 pix, margin left 25 pix. As you can see, I select a specific input with a specific type. The next selector is pseudo class. There are some common pseudo class that we used in every project. For example, I want to change the border of the image when my mouse hovers that. For this purpose, we should use pseudo class. Image hover border 5 pix solid black. Now you can see the effect of this pseudo class. The most common pseudo classes is after, before, and checked.